Not every survivor carries visible scars. Some carry a silence so deep that most people mistake it for distance, coldness, or even arrogance. But what if that silence is actually proof of a battle that never truly ended? What if the quietest person in the room isn't weak at all, but someone whose mind learned to detect danger long before anyone else noticed it? While most people are busy talking, laughing, and moving through life without much thought, there are a few who are quietly reading every expression, every pause, every shift in someone's voice. They notice tension before an argument begins. They sense discomfort before a smile disappears. They can feel when the energy in a room changes, even if nobody says a single word. Many people call this being an empath, but there is another side to this story that far fewer people understand. Sometimes this deep awareness is not a gift that appeared by chance. Sometimes it was built through years of emotional survival. Sometimes it was created by trauma. That is where the story of the trauma-born empath loner begins. And it is far more complex than most people realize. For many of these people, loneliness was never a lifestyle they happily chose. It became the safest place their nervous system could find. While others see being alone as sadness or isolation, they often experience it as peace, not because they dislike people, not because they believe they are better than anyone else, but because their minds spent so many years preparing for disappointment, conflict, rejection, or emotional pain that being alone feels less exhausting than constantly trying to predict what everyone around them might do next. They are not running away from the world. They are protecting themselves from a world that once felt impossible to trust. This protection becomes so natural that even when life gets better, their body may still react as though danger is only moments away. They can smile while their mind is still scanning the room. They can laugh while quietly noticing every tiny change in someone's mood. They can appear calm while their nervous system refuses to fully relax. To outsiders, they simply seem reserved. Inside, an entirely different story is unfolding. That is why this topic deserves far more attention than it usually receives. Many people speak about empathy as if it were a magical personality trait or a mysterious spiritual ability. Others assume that anyone who prefers solitude must be antisocial or emotionally unavailable. The truth is often much deeper. Modern psychology has shown that growing up in unpredictable or emotionally unsafe environments can train the brain to become highly alert. Children who never knew when anger, criticism, silence, or rejection would appear often learned to study every tiny emotional signal around them. They became experts at reading people because their safety depended on it. What began as survival slowly became their normal way of living. Even years later, when the danger is gone, those patterns can remain. Their eyes still search for warning signs. Their thoughts still prepare for the worst. Their heart still hesitates before trusting someone new. This is not weakness. It is the lasting effect of a mind that adapted to survive difficult circumstances. In this video, you will discover why trauma-born empath loners often seem different from everyone around them without even trying. You will learn why they struggle to trust even the kindest people, why they often pull away just when relationships begin to grow, and why silence can feel safer to them than endless conversation. We will explore how childhood experiences can shape adult behavior in ways most people never recognize. You will also discover why emotional awareness can become both an incredible strength and a heavy burden at the same time. Many people admire those who always understand others, but very few stop to ask what it costs to carry that level of awareness every single day. There are hidden battles taking place beneath calm faces, hidden fears behind thoughtful eyes, and hidden reasons why some people protect their peace so fiercely. By the end of this journey, you may never look at quiet people in quite the same way again. As we continue, we will uncover lesser-known psychological truths about why some survivors become exceptionally observant, why their nervous system often remains on high alert long after the danger has passed, and why healing is far more complicated than simply deciding to move on. We will separate popular myths from psychological reality. We will examine behaviors that many people misunderstand and reveal the hidden reasons behind them. You may even recognize parts of yourself or someone close to you in these stories. If you have ever wondered why certain people seem emotionally wise far beyond their years, why they can sense tension before anyone else notices it, or why they often choose a peaceful evening alone instead of a crowded room full of people. The answers may surprise you. Some of these facts rarely become part of everyday conversations because the loudest stories are usually told by the people who feel comfortable speaking. Those who carry the deepest emotional histories often remain silent, leaving their experiences misunderstood or completely overlooked. Stay with us until the very end, because one of the most important discoveries is not about trauma itself, but about what happens after survival. Many people believe surviving difficult experiences is the finish line. In reality, survival is only the beginning. The greatest challenge comes when a person must learn that safety is possible again, that healthy relationships truly exist, and that constant emotional alertness does not have to control the rest of their life. We will explore why some people remain trapped in survival mode for decades, while others slowly rebuild themselves into stronger, wiser, and emotionally healthier versions of who they were always meant to become. The final part of this video reveals the transformation that very few people ever witness, and it may completely change the way you think about resilience, empathy, and the quiet strength hidden inside those who rarely speak about their past. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. This is a place where we explore the deeper side of human behavior, psychology, emotional healing, and the hidden patterns that shape our lives. Every video is designed to help you understand yourself and the people around you with greater clarity and compassion. If that sounds meaningful to you, make sure you subscribe and join our growing community, because there are many more powerful insights waiting for you. Now, let's begin uncovering the hidden world of trauma-born empath loners and the remarkable psychological journey that only a few people ever truly understand. The way trauma changes a person is often invisible. It does not always leave physical marks that others can recognize. Instead, it quietly changes the way the brain understands the world. A child who grows up in a peaceful home usually learns that people are mostly safe and that mistakes can be forgiven. But a child who grows up in an emotionally unpredictable environment learns a very different lesson. They quickly realize that a simple change in someone's voice can mean trouble. A long silence can feel like a warning. A forced smile may hide anger that will appear later. Without realizing it, they begin paying attention to details that other children never even notice. They study every expression, every movement, every pause between words. Their mind slowly becomes trained to predict what might happen next, because being prepared feels safer than being surprised. At first, this is simply a way to survive difficult moments. But as the years pass, it becomes automatic. They no longer choose to notice everything. Their brain does it for them. Even after leaving the environment that taught them these habits, the pattern often remains. They enter a room and instantly begin reading faces. They notice who seems uncomfortable. They sense tension before anyone else does. They can tell when a conversation feels forced or when someone is hiding frustration. While other people simply enjoy the moment, the trauma-born empath is already collecting information without even trying. This constant awareness can seem like a special ability, but it comes at a cost. Their nervous system rarely gets a chance to rest. Even peaceful situations can feel mentally exhausting because their brain never fully stops searching for possible danger. Every conversation becomes a puzzle. Every relationship becomes something to analyze. Every unexpected change demands attention. Living this way drains emotional energy little by little until exhaustion becomes a normal part of everyday life. Many people admire how perceptive they are, but very few understand how tiring it is to notice everything all the time. What once protected them during painful years slowly becomes a habit they cannot easily turn off. The same gift that once helped them survive can later become the reason they struggle to feel completely safe anywhere. Because of this constant emotional awareness, many trauma-born empath loners begin choosing solitude, but this decision is often misunderstood. People assume they dislike others or believe are unfriendly. Some even call them antisocial. The reality is usually much simpler. Social situations require enormous emotional effort. Every conversation brings new expressions to interpret. Every group carries different emotions. Every disagreement creates tension that their nervous system immediately reacts to. Crowded places can feel overwhelming, not because they fear people themselves, but because they unconsciously absorb so much emotional information at once. Loud arguments, unexpected conflict, fake smiles, hidden resentment, and emotional unpredictability all compete for their attention. While others may leave a gathering feeling energized, they often leave feeling completely drained. Their mind has been working the entire time, watching, analyzing, and preparing. Solitude becomes the only place where that constant mental activity finally begins to slow down. Being alone gives their nervous system permission to breathe. It allows them to stop monitoring every face and every tone of voice. It creates a space where they no longer have to wonder what someone else is thinking or feeling. This does not mean they never want love, friendship, or meaningful relationships. In fact, many deeply desire close connections. They simply become careful about where they invest their limited emotional energy. They know how exhausting the wrong environment can be because they have already lived through it. Their loneliness is rarely about rejecting people. It is about protecting the little piece they have worked so hard to find. That same need for protection shapes the way they trust. Many people trust because they expect honesty until proven otherwise. Trauma-born empath loners often do the opposite. Their experiences taught them that words can sound kind, while actions tell a completely different story. Promises can be broken. Affection can suddenly disappear. Apologies can become repeated cycles instead of real change. Because of this, they stop believing words alone. Instead, they quietly observe patterns. They notice whether someone's behavior stays the same over weeks and months. They pay attention to consistency rather than charm. They watch how a person treats strangers, how they react under stress, and whether their actions match what they say. Time becomes their greatest test of character. This is why they rarely rush into emotional closeness. Some people mistake this caution for being cold or distant, but it is actually a survival strategy developed through painful experience. Opening up too quickly once brought disappointment, betrayal, or emotional harm. Their mind remembers those lessons, even if they wish it could forget them. Before they allow someone into their inner world, they need repeated proof that the relationship feels emotionally safe. Trust grows slowly because it has been broken before. Once earned, it often becomes incredibly deep and loyal, but reaching that point requires patience that many people are unwilling to give. While outsiders notice their quiet personality, the greatest struggle usually happens inside their own mind. There is often a constant conversation taking place beneath the calm surface. They question whether they said the wrong thing. They replay conversations long after they end. They wonder if someone misunderstood them. They worry about disappointing people they care about. Even when nobody is upset with them, they may still search for signs that they made a mistake. Self-doubt quietly follows them through many parts of life. Guilt also becomes familiar, especially if they spent years believing they were responsible for keeping peace in difficult relationships. They learn to place other people's emotions ahead of their own needs. As adults, saying no may still feel uncomfortable. Rest may create guilt instead of relaxation. Receiving kindness may even feel unfamiliar because they became so used to giving without expecting anything in return. Overthinking becomes another daily companion. Their brain searches for hidden meanings behind simple events. A delayed message, a different tone of voice, or a small change in routine can trigger long chains of thought that continue for hours. Even when life becomes safer, their nervous system may continue behaving as though another emotional storm is about to arrive. Relaxing feels difficult because being alert became their normal state for so many years. Peace can even feel unfamiliar at first because their body learned to expect tension instead of calm. This is why true healing is far more difficult than most people realize. Leaving a painful environment is only one step. The survival patterns created inside the mind often remain long after the danger has disappeared. Many people continue living as though they must always stay prepared. They expect rejection before acceptance. They expect disappointment before kindness. They keep emotional walls around themselves because those walls once kept them safe. Healing asks them to do something that feels deeply uncomfortable. It asks them to face memories they spent years trying to avoid. It asks them to recognize that protecting everyone else is not their responsibility. It asks them to build healthy boundaries without feeling guilty for having them. It asks them to teach their nervous system that not every raised voice leads to harm, and not every disagreement ends in abandonment. This process cannot be rushed because the brain learns through repetition, not promises. Every healthy relationship slowly challenges old beliefs. Every respectful conversation creates new experiences that compete with painful memories. Progress often happens quietly. Some days feel hopeful, while others seem to pull them backward. That is why many people remain trapped in survival mode for years. Not because they lack strength, but because changing patterns built over a lifetime requires extraordinary patience and persistence. As healing slowly takes place, a remarkable transformation begins to appear. The trauma-born empath does not lose their empathy. They simply stop allowing it to control every decision they make. They no longer believe it is their responsibility to rescue everyone who is struggling. They understand that compassion does not require self-sacrifice. They stop apologizing every time they choose rest over exhaustion or boundaries over pleasing others. Their confidence grows quietly instead of loudly. They become calmer because they no longer feel responsible for fixing every emotional situation around them. They become more selective about the people they allow into their lives, choosing quality over quantity. They respond instead of reacting. They pause instead of panicking. Their emotional awareness remains strong, but it is guided by wisdom rather than fear. They still notice what others miss, but they no longer carry every burden they discover. Their kindness becomes healthier because it includes themselves for the first time in many years. Instead of living in constant survival, they begin living with intention, discovering a peace that once seemed impossible to reach. As each new experience slowly teaches their mind that safety can become a lasting reality rather than a temporary moment. As we reach the end of this journey, one truth becomes clear. Trauma can change the way a person sees the world, but it does not have to decide who they become. The experiences that once taught them to fear, to stay silent, or to constantly protect themselves are only one chapter of their story. They are not the whole story. Healing is never about erasing the past. It is about refusing to let the past control every decision, every relationship, and every dream. That takes incredible courage. The strongest people are not always the loudest or the ones standing in the spotlight. Sometimes they are the ones who quietly faced years of emotional pain, rebuilt themselves piece by piece, and chose kindness without forgetting the lessons that made them wiser. Their strength is found in the battles nobody else could see. Their victories are often silent, but they are no less extraordinary. If you recognized yourself or someone you love in this video, remember that healing is not a race. Every small step toward peace matters. Every healthy boundary matters. Every moment you choose growth over fear matters. No matter how difficult your past has been, your future is still being written, and each new day gives you another chance to become the person your pain could never destroy. The greatest victory isn't surviving your past. It's reaching the day when your past no longer decides how you live. If this message spoke to your heart, don't let it end here. Take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who may need these words today, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful insights into psychology, emotional healing, and personal growth. Your support helps us continue creating videos that inspire, educate, and remind people they are never alone in their journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.